Good afternoon, students of PCC. I am Ozzie Gonzalez, a candidate for mayor of Portland, Oregon. I received an email from you recently with a few questions about some topics that were on your mind about issues concerning our city. I'd like to answer some of those questions for you here today. The first question was about my plans for homelessness. Now the question is what are your plans to alleviate the situation and ensure that all of our homeless citizens have access to safe and affordable housing? Well, I have a policy agenda that is focused exactly on this issue. It is my plan for homelessness and housing, and it's available on my website, ozzie4pdx.org. That's OZZIE, the number 4, pdx.org. In that policy plan, I describe my intentions to create dedicated places where we could have temporary shelters. And I also mention my interest in leaning into the design aspect of this by reaching out to our design community to have prefabricated, quickly deployable shelters that we can deploy throughout the city so that we can address this for the emergency response issue that it is. We have design solutions available where we could create beautiful, elegant, quickly deployable temporary shelters. And if we can designate sites throughout the city where those shelters could be put up, and we can create pathways to make those type of sites permittable uses, then I think we have the pieces we need to be able to activate a response at the speed and scale that this issue needs. My policy agenda does all of that. You should visit my website for a few more details. The next question is about health. And in the wake of many health disparities exposed by COVID-19, how will you work to address the systemic health barriers in the Black, Indigenous, and LGBTQ+ communities? Thank you for submitting that question. I have a deep interest in the health of our communities. And from my perspective, there's two major factors that we have to look at. And that is the internal human health and environmental health. From an internal health perspective, we have to make sure we're taking care of people with good mental health and physical health programs. So this is about the food in schools and how we provide mental health services, how we provide counseling and support services for young people and adults in stressful situations. With regards to environmental health, we have to recognize that the air we breathe and the water we drink and the food that we ingest are all vital parts of our health system, and we have to treat them for the medicine that they are. And so by making sure that we're bringing electric vehicles to reduce the emissions in the air, if we are bringing more green infrastructure that helps treat stormwater and reduces contamination in our rivers, then we are helping to create much healthier communities. But one more thing, we have to look at the neighborhood scale environments. And I believe the use of green space, the planting of trees, and the use of environmental amenities are all part of what we have to bring to neighborhoods throughout the city so that the environmental factors of health can be addressed. The next question is coming from a single mother of 2 little boys who goes to school full-time and works as well. Those are very challenging times that involve managing school load, workload, family life, and things like daycare and other chores. Let's see here. The question is, as mayor, how will you work to make housing and childcare more affordable and accessible for the people of Portland? Well, I believe that childcare is a huge part of an economic development strategy. When we are able to provide quality, culturally competent neighborhood childcare programs, we free up the workers of our community to be able to deliver the services, the goods, the jobs, and all the things that not only set food on their tables, but create economic resilience for their households and free people from intergenerational poverty. So I believe that being able to work with communities throughout the cultural spectrum in culturally competent ways is one of the best things we could do. So one of the things I'm going to do is to reach out to our community organizations who already provide financial literacy courses to make sure that they're providing those courses to a broader palette of audiences by bringing language capacity and cultural competence into their programs. If we could take a culturally specific organization and pair it up with a community service organization that provides financial literacy, we have the sauce that we need in order to help communities of color improve the economic resilience of the places where they live. The fourth question and final question is about the Climate Action Plan. As mayor, what would you do to further develop and implement Portland's Climate Action Plan? Thank you very much for asking this question. As a candidate deeply committed to climate action, and as an environmental scientist who has, for the last 12 years of my career, been dedicated to sustainable design and green infrastructure, I am poised to enter this position as mayor on day one and make sure that we raise the flag of urgency on climate action strategies. Now, I have been declaring a climate emergency for decades now, but as mayor, I understand that declaring a climate emergency is only the first step to actually implementing the changes that are needed. So once I'm done declaring that climate emergency on day one, the real work will begin of bringing green jobs, green industries, and replacing the legacy of fossil fuel industry and fossil fuel economy that created the industrial age. That's not going to be an easy thing, but I have a vision that by 2030, we're going to have a net zero city for energy, for carbon, and for waste. And I know that that is possible because there are other cities in the world, much larger than Portland, already making that progress. So I look forward to doing that work with our local industries, our local innovators, and our local young, ambitious folks like the students at PCC. I appreciate the time you've taken to send me your questions, and I'm really glad that you're taking an interest in the issues of the city today. I look forward to how you take whatever you're learning in PCC and apply it into our communities. I look forward to bringing a city hall that can help create career pathways for you and that can help create a regional, robust community of workers, customers, and partners so that together we are able to have long-term success and livability in the city of Portland. Muchas gracias, and thank you very much to everyone out there at PCC. Once again, have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to submit those ballots. They're due any day now. Goodbye. Together, we got this.
Choose Ozzie for mayor.